My friends, what's up? It has been a long couple of days in the market, hasn't it? I apologize, this video is coming out so late. I was doing a bunch of Discord stuff, which, by the way, tomorrow, or really today, it's 1:45 my time. Really today, I'm going to have openings for the Discord, so if you're interested in joining my Discord, please follow me on Twitter, shoot me a DM there, let me know. Before we jump into the video, nothing I'm giving you is financial advice. Everything is for informational, educational purposes so you can make wise decisions for yourself, your family, and your portfolio. That's all I want you to do. I want you to make awesome decisions. I don't want you to be a bag holder. I don't want you to be a diamond hander into oblivion. I want you to make great decisions for yourself. All right. So I want to do a little bit of kind of what I'm seeing overall in the overall market. We'll talk a little bit of GME, and of course, main focus of the video is going to be on AMC. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are old to the channel, thank you. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So just taking a look at the broad market, I've got my SPY chart pulled up here. Obviously, lots of people, whether you follow me or Dave Marino or Trey's Trades, Rico, any of those guys, a lot of people, and honestly, just a lot of Finwit in its entirety, if you will, is tracking this rising wedge on SPY. I've also seen a lot of people talking about, the '08 fractal and how we're just going to get up here, we're going to get rejected off, and it does make sense, okay? I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense. I definitely see why a lot of people are saying that. However, that's not what makes the most sense to me. What makes the most sense to me is due to the fact that we're getting inflation under control. Interest rates are going to be going up to help inflation get under control. I mean, you just see it across the board. I know my utility bills are starting to go down. Gas prices are starting to go down in my area. Obviously, it's still high. It's still not good. But I do think we are going to see inflation easing and continue to do that. So we're coming up on the big bear trend line where obviously the massive rejection in January happened, and then in March it happened. So now here we are coming up, and should be around, obviously depending when we get there, somewhere around August 22nd. But this SPY rising wedge, man, I kind of have to keep adjusting it because, man, it will not die, right? And as you can see, the way it is right now, we basically got room up to about 433 or so. That's also for me where we're going to be hitting the next big supply zone. So you can see right here, supply was breaking down, started to recover. Then you had this, massive bear candle right here back on April the 21st. So this area is going to be a supply area for me, which, as you can see, is going to be coming up to the top of the wedge. That's when I would anticipate seeing some spill out. So let's say we actually make it that high. I'll just kind of take it up here to about, let's say it's at 433, just kind of right at the big bear trend line. So let's say, we kind of keep bouncing around, and that could last, like I said, for a couple more days. Like I said, somewhere around, August 22nd, would like to be seeing some type of decision. And if we start to spill out, everybody's going to be like, here we go, let's load the puts, market crash, '08 all over again, .com bubble, whatever the case may be. But I would like to actually see SPY come back down here. The 236 would make a lot of sense. That would be the top that was right in here. Whoops. So that's going to be the top that was basically right in here. So even if it just came down here to 416 or so before it started to make, what I always talk about, those kind of like rounded out J-shaped recoveries. That makes a lot of sense. Also, too, just coming down here to a very normal fib retracement of the 382 right around 406. That also makes a lot of sense. So I do think we are going to see pullback on SPY. I mean, you're just naturally going to see it anytime your RSI starts to get overheated like this. We go to the daily. We already saw it. It got up here to 73. We had a pullback. Now we're starting to push back up. So, but you can see why I have my supply zone drawn up here, because obviously this was just a big old push down day, a 1.5% day, minus 6 points though. So at least coming up here and getting pushed off of it, whether we get pushed off in the supply zone or we get pushed off at the bear trend line, both those makes sense. I'm just going to kind of be waiting for price action to really kind of see what it's looking like. But nothing's too alarming yet. So I do think there is room to run in SPY. How much further? I just don't know. Once again, not before we have some flash crash or anything along those lines. I am not buying into that narrative. Way too many people are predicting it. If anything, you can ask anybody in my Discord that I'm anti what the retail mob thinks. So when everybody is saying we're going to market crash from a retail standpoint, like I said, that just makes me want to buy calls even more on SPY. So I do think there's room to run on SPY, but how much more room before just a natural retracement? Who knows? We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Play it one day at a time. Like I always say, when it comes to technical analysis, it is not going to be a crystal ball. I always use the analogy of it's kind of like, capping football games. Back when I used to do a lot of sports betting, you can sit down, you can look at the teams, you can figure out where you have an edge. And if you play enough edges correctly and play most likely scenarios correctly enough, you can make money doing it. And that's the exact same way I view the stock market. So that's why I always play the most likely. Now, if we come over here and look at GME, up until today, obviously with what happened with Ryan Cohen dumping all of his Bed Bath & Beyond shares and calls, I'm not going to get into that. At the end of the day, man, I don't fault the guy. If he's making a lot of money and he felt like he was doing what was best for him and the company and everything along those lines, I pretty much just like to poke the GME Elias bears on Twitter every now and then. But I don't have a problem with that. Just like I don't have a problem with Adam Aaron selling. Just like I don't have a problem with me selling. Just like I don't have a problem with you selling. I have zero problems with anybody doing what is best for their portfolio. What I do have a problem with is if, like, let's say you say you're going to do one thing and then you do the complete opposite. So if Ryan Cohen would have been coming out and been like, everybody jump into Bed Bath & Beyond, it's the way, I'm going to change this company and everything like that, and then the next day he's dumping all of his shares, I'd have a problem with that. But the dude bought a bunch of call options, made a ton of money. I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem with Adam Aaron. He literally gave everybody 6 months in advance. If you had a problem with Adam Aaron selling his shares, you had a 6-month notice to get out, and you could have sold at a higher price than what he did. Okay? So, like I said, people just got to chill when it comes to that kind of stuff. Everybody wants to act like we're all in this together. That's just not reality, okay? When it comes to buying or selling, it is going to be you and that sell button at your computer or on your mobile phone, and you got to make the best decision for you at all times. That is the number one thing that I push in my Discord is taking profits and let runners go and manage your portfolio properly. Everybody wants to be like, I really want to get in the stock market and I really want to make a bunch of money, but I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to pursue these activities. And I'm like, great. Are you taking profits? Are you making wise investments? Are you scaling in and out of positions? Are you entering on support and exiting on resistance? And it's like, no, I'm just buying and holding. And I don't have a problem with that if that's your plan. But that's what it needs to be. It needs to be just like, listen, I want to buy and I'm going to hold this thing, and it's either till $1 million a share or till $0 a share. And I do not have a problem with that. I don't agree with it, but I don't have a problem with it if that's your plan. Okay? Once again, my whole goal is to make money in the stock market. My whole goal of everything I do on Twitter and YouTube and my Discord, all that kind of stuff, it's all about education and helping other people learn how to fish, so to speak. So, sorry about that. I'll get off that soapbox. So, let's look at GME. So, honestly, I wasn't that upset with anything that happened with GME today. Let me get rid of this fib so you guys can see it a little bit better. But it was kind of holding this support right here from the low on July the 6th. And you just marching up, push down. So I just kind of view this as like, hey, it was an ugly day in the markets. It was an ugly day for meme stocks. So coming back here, testing this trend line. And then obviously, found out that Ryan Cohen sold everything. And now I think GME's down here at like 35. What was it? I'll get you guys an accurate number because I care about you. And accuracy, 35.10 is what it finished up. Look at that cursor, 35.10. Awesome. So that's clearly going to be broken. What I don't want to see out of GME, so let me back up here. So it's clearly, broken out of its, big bear trend line. Now that it's back in it, what you don't want to see is you don't want to see it coming up here and getting kicked off of that now. And then you come down here and you kind of make a lower low. And then you kind of start making a higher high. Then it's just going to cause constant spillover from that standpoint. If we run a fib from where it really blasted off back over here on May the 25th, let's see here, 35.10. Yeah, that's even below the 0.5. So, like I said, typically when you see some type of drastic sell-off or anything like that, you're going to get an automatic reaction. That's why I tweeted out yesterday what I really wanted to see for AMC today going into the day is I wanted to see like a real quick gap down or a real harsh sell-off right off the bat. And unfortunately that didn't happen, but that's definitely what I was looking for because sometimes what you'll see on AMC's chart. So this is a perfect example. I don't have to show you on AMC's chart. Look at GME. So GME just blast straight up. And what does it do? It blasts straight down right after that. So when you don't, take time to really build support, then you're going to have, those more erratic and volatile movements. And if you know how to play volatility correctly, it can be a great fin. If all you do is, diamond hand options, which I guarantee people did right here, if all you do is diamond hand options into the grave, volatility is not your friend. It makes you go broke really quick. So coming down here, if it does, you'd look for the 618, obviously your most likely reversal at that point in time. I would love to just kind of see it, push back up, to the top of this bear trend and hopefully break right on through. Obviously, it was a lot of time and energy and effort, but the reality is GME's had some false breakouts before. Everybody was tracking this, myself included, back here in November. Where everybody, was tracking this pennant, and then at that point in time, your bear trend line would have looked like this. You could argue it even right there. Most people were kind of tracking it like this, though. So you had your rejection here, push up, but that didn't even last throughout the day, didn't even close above. And then you had this. You had this big breakout right here. And this is where myself and a bunch of other people, we thought GME and AMC could potentially squeeze right here. And then just boom. Huge flush. Holy cow. That was a massive drop right there. 48% in 20 days. So basically just down. Okay? So I really hope that's not the case here. I really hope we don't have to come all the way back down here to, the 26 range or even once again a little bit of a break below. But it's definitely a possibility. If things don't improve rapidly, it's definitely a possibility. So if we come over here to AMC, obviously, we had this big bullish pennant playing out. Some people were saying, oh, no, it's a, ascending triangle. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think it's a, potato in this situation. Okay. So I was tracking it as a pennant right here. This is where, so I entered in calls, I don't remember. It's either back over here, and then I took profits. I made a couple videos when I was talking about it. Took profits at 25, then I took profits at 26, and then I was holding a stop loss for the rest. And where my stop loss was triggered was right here. I told my Discord once we broke below the pennant and the support line, and then we came back up and we retested it, and then got rejected off once right here. Once it rejected off again, that's when it looked real bad. And as you can see, it also rejected off the 9 EMA, and then now it's pretty much just been riding that all the way down back to 1950. Now, what I do like is I like this price action right here. To me, so we're obviously getting a very oversold RSI. Everything below the 1 hour and below, so I'll just show you real quick. So The hourly RSI is now down at 26, so everything hourly and below is getting pretty oversold. So I do think worst case scenario is we are going to be coming up on a relief bounce. So and I mean, and you can see here. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to price action. Like, just look at these candles right here. Just bam, 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 big bearish candles. And then what do you have? Now you've got much less momentum when it comes to these candles right here. We actually ended the day on the 15-minute on this doji candle. If you go to the 5-minute, then you've got a bullish engulfing candle. Sorry guys, it's late. You got the bullish engulfing candle starting to recover the 9 EMA. So potentially, and what I think is most likely, which once again, that's how I play things. And that's how I call things, okay? So anytime, if you ever want to be mad at a prediction or anything like that, just know I'm giving you my most likely scenario, okay? There's lots of scenarios that can always play out. But starting to, I think tomorrow could be volatile, okay? What I'd love to see is some decent buying pressure going into the close tomorrow for some ape shares. I can tell you right now, if we come down here, so from this low over here on July the 27th, look where we are. No wonder the bears are starting to get out just a little bit. So also too, guys, what I always teach in my Discord is I teach about macro, micro, and local fibs. I would consider this like the local fib, okay? It's not its lowest low, but it's not its most recent low, like right over in here. So this is one that, we'll see. Obviously the 0.5 was a perfect bounce right here that pushed back up. So this fib definitely carries some weight as far as I'm concerned. So coming down here, we're right around that 0.618. Start heading back up. Well, actually, let me turn on after hours here because I'm not sure what happened to AMC in after hours. Okay, so actually at the 0.65, pretty much in after hours. Let's see, does that really change anything of where I need to draw it during regular trading hours? No, that looks good. So we're right in the golden pocket. So what I'd like to see in pre-market tomorrow, which honestly is not most likely here, okay? What's most likely here is in pre-market tomorrow due to Bed Bath & Beyond and obviously GameStop getting whacked, is what's most likely here is a continued push down. But what I would like to see is it to start curling. And even honestly, even if we open a little bit lower, just kind of as by the time market opens, we're starting to curl back up, being somewhere between that $18.50 to $19 range. Then we can still at least have some hope, if you will, when it comes to potentially seeing a reversal on Friday. So, the bad news is the last 2 days absolutely sucked. The good news is I really don't think that we have all that much further to go before we really see a potential bounce. Now, I'll come out here and let's look at this from a, definitely take it from right here, whoops. So if we take it from here and go up, now look at that. So the 0.5 here is going to be the 618 that was drawn from right here. So 1867. So it's no wonder that, we saw a little bit of bounce and after hours and support right here. But if that breaks, so especially if it breaks below, comes up, kind of retests, and then dumps off, then right here at 1650 is going to be what we're looking at. But at the end of the day, so long as we keep maintaining this right here, sort of this, higher low trend, like I said, even down here at 16, so long as we came down here at 16 and saw a bounce, the overall more macro move is still favoring the bulls. Now, I tweet out all the time that great setups need great follow through. This was a great setup. There was quite literally almost no reason to be bearish, honestly, other than the fact that all of Twitter and YouTube, including myself, was bullish. I tweeted out tonight. I was like, what scares me more than anything is not a bunch of downside. It's when, euphoria strikes and everybody is just like giving each other high fives and patting themselves on the back like it's moon time. And it's like, bro, we had $26. Now, that's obviously way better than we were back here. But in my opinion, we still got work to do. Okay? Now, I'm all about celebrating little victories along the way, but kind of the eyes on the prize a little bit. I think there was just too much of like, oh, Ape has won. And that's not reality, for sure. Now, please go watch my Ape videos. I'm not knocking Ape. I'm actually a big supporter of Ape. I'm a big supporter of Adam Aaron, so, just let your keyboard cool off just a little bit, all right? So, great setups need great follow-through. We did not get great follow-through. So here we are. We obviously had this massive push up. Now we're getting the massive push down. We kind of took a little rocket ship right here on the way up. So we ran out of fuel. And now gravity is doing its thing. And the rocket ship is coming back down to earth. So I really don't think we have too much further to go. I really don't. That's my bias. My bias is we really don't have too much further to come down. I'm really thinking about, maybe 1650 worst case scenario. If, we break this upward, momentum and trend line, man, and really, after hours is really messing up my trend lines. I don't like that. Go back to regular hours. So, only if we really break below this trend line. And honestly, so long as we stay above even this 1390, whether we double bottomed out of here, or so long as we just get a higher low right in here, I'm just not too stressed about anything. Okay? Once again, my shares are the long game. And I'm about to get a whole bunch more of them with all these Ape shares. So obviously, the last 2 days have been disappointing. I am not sugarcoating, discounting, anything like that. I'm just going to go to the daily. We are just slicing through supports. There's no other way to put it. This, the 200-day moving average, it was so exciting to see, this show a ton of support. So, everything that has been so much resistance, once you see it become support, there's zero reason to go, oh, I think this is just going to tumble straight down and out. So, people are mad, like, oh, these YouTubers lied to me. And it's like, no. Well, some might did. Okay. I wasn't trying to lie to you or anything like that. There was no reason to be super bearish. Now, when I was cautious was when we got the dark cloud cover, we got the spinning top on the weekly, and I said, these are the things that make me concerned. But then the following day we had the nice push up. So in my opinion, I was kind of looking at, this being invalidated. But the reality is this high from that dark cloud cover, the day that I talked about it, we haven't seen a higher high since. All we've done is tumble. So it is what it is. So now we've lost the 200-day simple moving average. It broke right through also to the 20-day moving average. Now we are about to get the 50 is about to cross over the 100, and it definitely will tomorrow if we can get a little bit of a curl going. But the EMAs, we closed below the 20 and the 200 EMA. So even come down here and testing the 50-day, which is going to be at 1764, that makes a lot of sense, okay? Which would also be coming down here to this little area before, we push back down. And you can see here that pretty much had a dark cloud cover right here. It was pretty much just barely below that 50%. And then that pushed us down. So, and then that pushed us down. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for something like this. I'm looking for a color change candle that's going to be a bullish one on some increasing volume. So whether it's a hammer, an inverted hammer, a bullish engulfing, a piercing line, all those different candles, that's what I'm going to be looking for. And until then, we rode all the way up. Now we just got to put the hands in the air and not enjoy the ride down. You can be terrified if you want to. You can be screaming. But this is just why you got to be careful with options. Please don't buy options if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't have any clue what you're doing, then I do agree that buying and holding is your best option and averaging down when you can. So like I said, people want to act like I'm big mad at buying and holding or I don't believe in it, and that's just not true. I think buying, and if you don't know what you're doing, buying and holding is your best option. If you do know what you're doing, I don't believe that's the best option. I believe the best option is education, so you know how to navigate the markets. That's what I believe is your best option. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I apologize it's so long and so late, but it is what it is. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And pre-markets here in a few hours. I'll see you then. You guys have a good one.